I just finished watching Andor Season 2. Let's talk about it. What is there to say except for incredible? This has been the best Star Wars thing for a very long time, and I feel like qualifying it with like Star Wars thing is doing the show a little bit of disservice. This is just one of the best TV shows I've ever watched, especially like in the streaming model, shorter seasons, higher production. This is just one of the best things I've ever watched from those sorts of things. And who would have thought, right? Cassian Andor is going to be the guy who is the face of some of the best Star Wars content we've seen under the Disney era. Right, with the Star Wars qualifier. I feel like Mandalorian, you have to put that qualifier in. Mandalorian, it was the first live action Star Wars TV show, I think. It was the first Disney Plus show for sure. And it was good. It was really good. The culture kind of loved it as well, with Baby Yoda or Grogu being all over the place. But I feel like with that, you have to put the qualifier. Mandalorian is a really good Star Wars show. Andor, no qualifier needed. It's an incredible masterpiece. Frankly, I don't want to sound too hyperbolic, but that's how I truly feel finishing it up. The stuff with the Gorman, I was on the edge of my seat. We know the Death Star gets built, and so we know the Empire is going to win this one, and just the brutality they win it is just incredible. The politics of the show, I think the prequels, lots of people coming off of the original trilogy, the prequels are too much politics, too much like Senate stuff. No one wants to watch that in this space epic. First, I do think that's the difference between TV shows. TV shows can be slower, more cerebral, I guess, where like movies can be high octane, right? They're shorter and they have a bigger budget, so high octane, lots of action, lots of set pieces. I'm not hating on either one. It's just two different mediums. And I think the prequels, also the politics, were silly and boring. Well, maybe not silly, but just not as well written, I suppose. Where in Andor, we can see lots of this stuff in real life right now. Mon Mothma's speech, you know, that speech is literally talking about right now. And I think that the political stuff with all the senators and stuff, that's first off better served in a TV show, and second off, Andor just does it better than any piece of Star Wars medium I've ever seen. So props to them. The culture as well. Star Wars is a thing set in space. I want to see multiple cultures. Tatooine, we spent 50 years with Tatooine. A bunch of stuff take place in Tatooine, and I feel like the stuff Andor sets up has more culture, and those planets are just in a couple of episodes. And so once again, just incredible attention to detail, incredible research by the team. Just incredible. I'm just gonna say incredible a bunch of times because I don't even know. I'm not gonna do a super in-depth analysis of the entire season or the entire show. Just highly recommend. Super incredible stuff. Amazing set design, amazing culture. A political thriller, I guess, right? Is this the first Star Wars political thriller? I would say so. There's no Jedi, there's no Sith, just bureaucrats doing scary stuff and all the real people having to survive from their actions, which is almost scarier because we can translate it to real life as well, right? There's no Emperor Palpatine, there's no Darth Vader in real life, as in there's no one who can use magical wizard powers to get what they want. But they're Imperial officers, yeah, sure, those can be people. Those seem very real. Andor is he seems super real. And just great stuff all around. And I'm like sad it's over as well, right? Just 2 seasons, but I also think that's a good thing. A lot of problems with Star Wars is, everything gets more episodes, more seasons, right? The Mandalorian season 1, really good. And then it got more and more seasons and people stopped watching. And then all the side characters in The Mandalorian, they all got shows, right? Ahsoka got a show. Boba Fett got a show. And just everything from The Mandalorian was going to get more and more and more. And then it kind of got oversaturated. So much Star Wars content was coming out. And now Andor, it's almost like, oh, I wish they would do that with all the Andor characters, right? Like, I want to know more about Andor's friends. I want to know what happened to Andor's son. Is he some sort of secret rebel spy? Give me a show more about the Imperial Senate, right? Give me a real political thriller about the Imperial Senate and how all these guys have to deal with the Empire. But also, I'm saying I want that, but also don't give me that, because let me just imagine it. Let me. It's always good to want more than give too much, especially with Star Wars nowadays, where they've just had so much content and not all of it's been good. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I haven't seen all of it. It's just way too much stuff to deal with. So I think this is good. I think they probably could have gotten a third season, right? Maybe the Gorman stuff is the season finale, and then the third season, I don't know. They could come up with stuff. I trust this team completely. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 was really good. So I don't care what the heck they would come up with. And if they want to spin off one of the characters, this team has earned my trust, right? The Mandalorian had that for a little bit, and then it kind of was a little bit too much. Book of Boba Fett wasn't very good. Some of the later Mandalorian stuff was better than Book of Boba Fett, definitely, but it wasn't like amazing. But as of right now, this show has gotten 2 incredible seasons, amazing episodes. Well, yesterday, I guess, last night was when the final 3 episodes dropped, and so I will kind of focus on those. Those are the ones I just watched, like literally right after I started recording this. And they were definitely a lot slower. Like I said, 7, 8, and 9, those could have been the season finale, the Gorman Massacre, and then getting Mon Mothma out of Coruscant could have been the season finale, super tense. But I also feel like that these last 3 episodes are a great segue into Rogue One. It slowed the entire show down for sure, but it's because then Rogue One is supposed to pick up, and Andor, for how political and how different it is from all the other Star Wars stuff, it definitely connects with Rogue One, and that's what was really cool about Rogue One when it came out, was there was like a whole big deal. Oh, there's no Force in Rogue One except for that one Force-sensitive monk. And in this one, yeah, there's really not that much Force in there. And when it is mentioned, it's like, ooh, it's a big moment when someone mentions the Force in this show. And so, yeah, I think it really connects with Rogue One. And that's what the final 3 episodes had to do. How do we go from this big, exhilarating moment with the massacre and then the speech and then getting her off the planet? How do we go from that into Rogue One, right? How do we go from all that stuff to then connecting it with Rogue One? I feel like it could have been its own season, but also they do a good job. They slow it down, and we all know it's coming, right? Just like how when we knew the massacre was going to happen because the Empire wins. The Empire builds its Death Star. We know that's going to happen, so all of these episodes have been leading up to that, and we know that the Rebels are going to lose this time. Just like we know all that stuff, we also know that Andor is going to die, and especially episode 12, it knows that we know that, and it just basically, all he's doing is just going to start a new mission. He hasn't even started the mission yet, but we know that this is the mission that's going to lead him to their Death Star plans, but also the end of his life. And the show handles that really well, and it absolutely slows things down, but I think it's deserved, and it gives us a moment to breathe. It also lets us know what's happening to all the side characters, right? I was talking about spin-offs. Well, pick any one of these side characters, and I actually thought they were just going to do a bunch of deaths at the final couple of episodes, but no, it doesn't. Most of the guys survive, actually. Who knows what happens during 4 or 5 episodes, 4, 5, and 6. Do these rebels die? We don't really know, but maybe they don't die, or maybe they do die, and we can have another show about them, because I completely trust this team, right? The Mandalorian team, they created a new character, the Mando, and season 1 was really good, but then they got freaking Boba Fett, and they completely made just a mid. It wasn't a bad show, but it was just a mid show. But this team got Cassian Andor and created one of the best TV shows ever. And so I completely trust them to do whatever they want with any characters, honestly. Make a show about Andor's friend. Make a show about Andor's son, honestly. Just do whatever. Pick any random smuggler spy kind of guy and do whatever you want with them, because this team has my complete trust. And I would hate for this to be the ending, but also if it is the ending, then it was a great ride, a great TV show. And like I said, all I can say is just absolutely incredible.